thank you to everyone who keeps this channel alive. If you like relics of early 2010s YouTube, consider supporting the habit at patreon.com/doseofbuckley. Now, back to me being a prick about music. This is Musical Autopsy. Doc Buckley's in the Musical Morgue to slice up the biggest song of the summer. At least according to Billboard. It's Post Malone and Morgan Wallen, I Had Some Help.
I had some help. It ain't like I can make this kind of mess all by myself. Don't act like you ain't helped me pull that bottle off the shelf. Been deep in every weekend, if you couldn't tell. They say teamwork makes a dream work. Hell, I had some help.
Country fans, how pissed are you that either this or Shaboozie's A Bar song will be the biggest country music song of 2024? I haven't seen a genre do a turn like this since the early 2010s, when alt-rock started being used to describe shit like 21 Pilots and Foster the People. The days of grunge and hard rock buried under the softest, lamest shoegaze-sounding shit you could find. This is your Imagine Dragons, country fans. Get used to it, because there's no putting this shit back in the ass it came out of. People like Jelly Roll and Post Malone, the new tattooed faces of the genre. Musically, though, it's so sterile. Like someone said, we just need enough elements to call it country, but not so much twang it'll scare off the types of people who buy Pavement Princesses just to go to the grocery store and don't allow anything heavier than a bag of kitty litter in the truck bed. But music executives care about shit like crossover appeal. Nowadays, because they want it to appear in as many Spotify playlists as possible, but they still worry about things like maximizing the number of radio stations it plays on too. They play this shit right beside Sabrina Carpenter and Chapel Roan on your local Kiss FM or whatever the fuck you got. I guarantee it. To me, it sounds like it should be the opening theme song for an early 2000s sitcom starring Reba McEntire and Jeff Foxworthy. It could be called I Had Some Help, about a couple who owns a diner in Tennessee. They're always fighting, and their customers try and help them with their problems every week. Like, just picture this.
I had some help. It ain't like I can make this kind of mess all by myself. They say teamwork makes a dream work. Hell, I had some help.
Huh? You'd watch that Thursdays on ABC, wouldn't ya? Okay, so the song itself is about how it takes two to ruin a relationship. It starts with Post Malone talking about how his baby thinks it's all his fault.
You got a lot of nerve, don't you, baby? I only hit the curb 'cause you made me. You're telling all your friends that I'm crazy, like I'm the only one.
It's mildly interesting that this isn't your typical pop song where the singer puts all the blame on someone else. Early Taylor or current Olivia Rodrigo going on about the boys who broke their hearts, never admitting that maybe, just maybe, they might be partially to blame too. But it doesn't sound like an overly healthy relationship he has with this person anyway. Meanwhile, in Morgan Wallen's verse, he does something similar.
You thought I'd take the blame for us to crumble and go around like you ain't guilty of something already lost. The game that you've been running, guess it's catching up to you.
He's also upset that his relationship has ended, and that someone's expecting him to take sole responsibility for it, when, as he says in the second half of his verse, I ain't no angel, you ain't heaven sent, can't wash our hands of this. Suggesting that, while he accepts he fucked up, it ain't all on him. This culminates, of course, in the chorus.
I had some help. It ain't like I can make this kind of mess all by myself. Don't act like you ain't helped me pull that bottle off the shelf. Been deep in every weekend, if you couldn't tell. They say teamwork makes the dream work. Hell, I had some help.
The pulling that bottle off the shelf and been deep in every weekend if you couldn't tell line suggests that maybe this relationship should have ended. It seems pretty fucking horrible. Two alcoholics, deep in the bottle every weekend, constantly making a mess, either physically or metaphorically, is not a great idea. Neither is this amount of fucking vocal processing in a country song. We're like one setting away from having to give T-Pain a production credit on this fucking thing. But anyway, the song maybe could have benefited from a third verse or something. acknowledging that this relationship shouldn't have happened in the first place. Instead, it kind of just comes off as dudes upset that they're being blamed and upset that the relationships have ended when they shouldn't be. But that would make the song longer than 3 minutes, and in the TikTok and streaming era, at 2 minutes and 54 seconds, this thing is already the equivalent of a 3-hour Marvel movie. So, at first glance, it really doesn't seem like that interesting of a song to Autopsy. Guy is mad that girl is talking shit about him when she should shoulder some of the blame too. But wait a minute. Actually, is this the most progressive country song of all time? What if Post Malone and Morgan Wallen are actually singing about each other?
Why'd you throw them stones if you had a wild hell you wanted to? You think that you're so innocent after all the shit you did.
This is a duet, after all. What if Post Malone is mad that Morgan Wallen is telling all of his friends that Post is crazy, and Morgan is pissed that Post wants him to take the blame and isn't acknowledging his guilt, and that they are the two alcoholics enabling each other, the two who helped each other pull that bottle off the shelf, who helped each other make this mess. The final bit of the song ends with them both actually taking turns. I didn't edit this part.
It takes two to break a heart in two. Ooh, baby, you blame me, and baby, I blame you. Oh, if that ain't the truth.
Is Morgan responding to Post Malone there? Post says, "Baby, you blame me, and baby, I blame you." And Morgan says, "Oh, if that ain't the truth." Is Morgan Wallen Post Malone's baby? Aww. Even in the music video, there's some interesting moments involving Morgan Wallen helping Post Malone up and brushing the dirt off him. Then he puts his hat back on his head for him. Faces get pretty close there, guys, but it immediately shows two girls drive up in a pickup truck, prompting Morgan and Post to look at the camera with a nod like, "Yeah, looks like we're heading to Poontown." But I completely understand why you have to hide the true intentions of the song. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with that. But country music fans just might not be ready for this type of thing. In the immortal words of Norm Macdonald,
The country music fan traditionally, does not like songs that have a lot of, jizz drinking in them and stuff.
and yet, this wasn't just number one on the main Billboard chart, it was number one on the Hot Country Songs chart too. It's been in the top 10 for nearly 6 months. I don't think it's that big of a reach to say that this is the first mainstream gay country duet.
They say teamwork makes the dream work. Hell, I had some help.
So move over, Johnny and June. Get out of the way, George and Tammy. Piss off, Faith Hill and Tim McGraw. Post and Morgan are here. They drink each other's beer. Get used to it. This is Musical Autopsy. Bag it and tag it.